right, good morning. Wednesday edition of. I need to just stop doing that. It's good stuff. Good stuff daily
It
with
is.
James and Eric today. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Not too bad. Gloomy day in Chicago, but you know, still grinding it out.
Yeah, we're going the opposite. It's supposed to get hot over 90s.
Really? Oof.
Yeah.
I wonder, does that change your daily habits and plans at home, being indoor
No,
or outdoor?
no. I think most folks at this point are so insulated in their house that it's they're going to be looking at their windows and going, "All right, I'm getting outside today. I need sunshine."
Yeah. It's overdue, man. And is California's, are their orders still shelter in place?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, same here. Well, there's a couple of good things that we can discuss today. I did see that last night, or even kind of today, there's a follow-up stimulus bill with the hopes to kind of refund the PPP program. Did you see any news on that?
I did. Yeah, I read a little bit about it last night. For some reason, I want to say it's 315 billion. Is that number right?
Sounds right.
Is that? Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this is how many times back to the well and keep drawing water. I mean, this is a struggle where, at least from my opinion, looking forward, how many gyms have we heard have been funded? A bunch, right? I mean, luckily each day more gyms are raising their hand saying, mine funded last night. I'm getting mine tomorrow. I got it 2 days ago. But this, man, talk about playing with people's emotions. It's like, everybody get your stuff in. It's classic army phrase, hurry up and wait, right? So everyone is running around like crazy, getting their tax documents in place, getting their employee stuff in place, and everyone's excited because they submit it. So emotions are high. They're like, yes, we're in, we've got it. And then 24 hours later, sorry, we're out of money. And then they're just deflated, right? So then, it's like, oh, get back in line, do it again, resubmit again. Okay, 315 more billion is coming. Is that going to run out as well? Yes.
I'm absolutely sure it will.
So we are going to play this emotional roller coaster every 2 weeks and, fingers crossed, start to see more funding. Hope so.
I think the government's going to keep playing this roller coaster. I think we as, business owners need to frame our expectations. Just make sure you have your documents ready. Everything's already filed. Again, if they can fund it, they'll fund it. But outside of that, again, it's out of your hands. And if you're constantly jumping on this emotional roller coaster, it's going to take a toll.
For sure. I mean, and that goes back to, I think, our conversation earlier, maybe it was Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, is plan as if you're not going to get it. That way, if and when you do, great. But if not, your operational planning and your road to recovery through this doesn't rely on it.
Yeah. And I think, now is kind of the second opportunity. If you have not made sure that all of your documents are submitted and the application's ready to go, it's another opportunity to just reach out to your local SBA lender or banker, or multiple, just to kind of
say,
or change where you're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Or change. Yeah, a lot has been revealed the last couple of weeks in terms of
relationships and capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was pretty impressed. There have been some great stories shared on a couple of the different gym pages of folks, affiliate owners and gym owners that had great relationships at their smaller banks, and they were able to pull through, and it was great.
And I think that was the message we were really trying to push out there was, it is still about these relationships. The bigger banks, they love the bigger businesses.
Companies. Yeah, no kidding.
Unfortunately. But yeah, now's your second opportunity to follow up with your bankers, your lenders, make sure all your documents are in place, understand where, in the line you might be, just to kind of give you an idea of I don't say what to expect, but just kind of what the reality of your situation might be.
Correct. Agreed.
Well, cool. And so the other topic I wanted to touch on today, and I think is pretty controversial, sounds like 3 states are moving to open businesses either immediately or kind of towards the end of this week.
Right.
And a lot of those, what the recommendations are, include gyms.
Right. Correct. And I still haven't, I've researched the definition of gyms, and I'm not quite clear on it yet. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a definition for, private strength and conditioning micro gym versus, does that include the big powerhouse franchise gyms, and what are the stipulations for opening? Because they said under strict sanitation protocols. Okay, okay, fine. Strict sanitation protocols simply means things need to be cleaned, but I haven't seen guidance or ordinance stating operational capacity as far as humans in the building per square footage or humans in the building per hour. So maybe
there's a lot missing there.
Right. So if it's open for interpretation, then it's open for interpretation, and then it falls to the individual owner to use his or her gut to make the right call how they see fit, right?
Exactly. And I think, and so that's where I wish there were, at least in some of these states who are allowing these businesses to open, these sectors to open, that they made it cut and dry, black and white, that these are the regulations, and not make it open to interpretation.
Right.
Because if you allow that, then again, you're
playing with fire
on someone who may not understand the entire picture or what
right.
the impact is. It'd be a lot easier to understand exactly what the state or the local government's stance is on this. So we can, as a community,
make good decisions.
Yeah. And make a decision that makes sense for our community.
Right. But also have a clear understanding as to okay, because we would like to say that common sense will prevail, but that's not
going to be the case. That's up for interpretation as well.
Yep, absolutely. And so I think there stands, let's just you pick a state and you say, okay, cool, this state is allowed to be open for business at the basic level. And now you have people having to sit at home, consulting with maybe their family or their loved ones, or even consulting with the business partner saying, okay, Friday we can open. What does that look like? And do we personally as men and women, business owners, do we feel comfortable with that decision? I mean, I've already read on multiple occasions, there are gym owners that are in states that are giving the green light that they themselves are saying, no, thank you. We're still going to wait 15 more days, or we're going to wait 30 more days. Now that falls to their shoulders to make that decision. But then on the flip side, you've got gym owners that are chomping at the bit for that green light, and they want to go, they want to get after it, so big choices coming down the pipeline in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get the urgency and the frustration of wanting to open up as fast as you possibly can. I think you should definitely consider heavily what the long-term effects would be.
Right.
One way or another. Either it's for you financially, or it's long-term. Does this affect, are there any immediate impacts on,
any health ramifications?
Yeah. Any of that. And I think it's definitely easier said than done. And those are all the difficult decisions that we'd have to make. But, if you're in a position, really take some time to think through it, and not just hastily open without understanding,
without care,
of your community situation. It's not so much just about the business, but does it make sense? Do the numbers support that my city or my county can handle this?
Right.
Good.
So I think the luck there is that there's been enough both free resource as well as conversation like Goodstuff that goes out daily, weekly, to provide a framework for individuals who are looking to open. And they're, let's just say me and you, we own the gym, and we're like, okay, cool, we are interested in opening Friday. We're probably smart enough to realize that we're not going back to 20-person classes 5 hours a day or 10 hours a day. And if anything, this is the chance to pivot offerings. I think that was the discussion yesterday or the other day. Now's the chance where your consumer base is more malleable or flexible to the idea of, hey, change is coming. We've got to accept change. And these are what the new service offerings look like. And I would say this is where a great opportunity to introduce or infuse smaller semi-private or private instruction to bridge this gap between semi-opening, moderate opening or medium opening to then full opening. Because maybe full, quote unquote, opening takes the next 60 days.
Yeah.
Well, in the interim, you can still develop, reconnect with your clientele, face-to-face them. I mean, obviously, if you're mandated to social distancing and you've got to do the 6-foot barriers, and whatever. Okay, great. But you can still create service and be of service and provide service. And if we want to talk business, at a higher price point for those that are willing to have something personalized for them. So since you can't, win, quote unquote, by opening the gym back up full speed, you can win on the flip side by covering some of those revenue deficits because you're providing a much more intimate and personalized service. So there could be a win financially where you don't necessarily have to pack the house with 100 people.
Yes, definitely.
That just could be a creative way to do it. And, luckily there's, step-by-step instructions and some ideas. I know a lot of the folks that you've had on Goodstuff have awesome backgrounds at being competent gym owners, and they're looking to use this as a pivot, a chance to provide the client with a ton more service and completely different value. So yeah, I love it. I'm inspired to see what they're doing.
We'll definitely do a lot more of sharing of that. Maybe interviewing some owners on what they are doing and implementing.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to kind of pick your brain on is, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit. How would you evaluate whether or not,
go ahead.
know now, would you open your doors?
Absolutely.
Like, what would you put into that, and how would you come to that decision?
So I would first take into consideration what the impact is in our local area. And I mean, my specific local area. Luckily we have a ton of first responders and folks that work in the medical field. And we're seeing two extremes. We're seeing actual hospitals furloughing a lot of folks that work there. So the employee staff and the nursing staff, all on the elective side. And they're shuttling resources, personnel, if possible, over to the hospitals that are being impacted significantly. And so when I look around, I realize, hey, there is an opportunity here as long as we maintain a level of, I shouldn't say a level of awareness. The facility that I left, or the facility that I just retired out of, is 15,000 square feet. And so in 15,000 square feet, we have the potential, or they have the potential to cordon off a specific area for what looks just like you doing fitness in your backyard. And so here's the idea. If me and you and all of our clients can be in a safe environment doing fitness at home, and you raise your hand and say, hey, we've cordoned off 100 square foot areas for individuals to come in. If you want to come in, we will have not a group coached environment with like 30 people. We will have space and equipment available for you, right up on the whiteboard what the training is going to be for the day, and have rolling open windows of time for folks to say, I want to kind of get back to normal. Now, obviously for them, they have to follow the stringent cleaning protocols. So when they come in, they themselves can say, I'm using a barbell today, I'm using a rower today, I'm using a bike today, I'm using the rings. It all gets cleaned before they use it. They use it. It all gets cleaned before they leave. And then they walk out, and the interaction with other humans is very small, right? So therein lies a choice for they themselves to take responsibility. It's no different than them saying, I need to go to Home Depot today. I need to go to Chase Bank. I need to go to the grocery store. I mean, it's astonishing to me that there are people waiting in lines for us out here in California. The Trader Joe line is like an hour and a half long. Wow. I don't have an hour and a half to stand in line, but in that hour and a half, I'm literally socializing with people who are anywhere from 3, 5, 6, 8, 10 feet away from me for an hour and a half. Right? How is that less of a risk than me getting in my car, driving, walking into a 15,000 square foot facility, having 100 square feet of space around me to do exercise and, wave and hi and start to actually interact with other humans.
And with people that you have a history with, that
exactly.
you're more likely to trust what their decisions and circle, their
and
social circles are.
I'm actually choosing to go and at a time that's convenient to me. So maybe it's 1 p.m. and nobody else is there. Now I've got this whole place to myself kind of a thing. So, but that's me, right? That's my choice. Some people are going to listen to today's good stuff and they're going to be like, yep, that's exactly what I'm going to do also. Other people are going to listen to it and they're going to be like, nope, you know what? I don't want to open up my facility for potential risk yet. And so maybe we wait 15 days and, maybe someone will feel more comfortable in May, or somebody will feel more comfortable in June,
yeah.
And I can't tell someone, hey, we're open, you must come back. I can say, hey, we're open at a very, very skeleton framework with stringent sanitation policies put in place and requirements to avoid other people. Come on in if you want. And then you let them make the choice. Hey, here we are. We're hanging out. If you want to come on in.
Yeah, I think on that, we can wrap it up. But
totally,
it really just comes down to sit with these decisions and really try to think through them. For
Correct.
yourself, your community, your business, and outrate the potential risks if there are any.
Yep, absolutely.
And everyone just take personal responsibility. I think that's what it really boils down to.
Wait a second. We could solve everything if we take personal responsibility.
Clean and you abide by, some social distancing guidelines. I think we'll be okay.
Right on.
Awesome, man. Well, Eric, thank you again. Always fun chatting with you in the mornings.
You got it. Absolutely. Agreed.
All right. And for those of you guys watching this episode, share in the comments what you guys are thinking through in terms of how you would evaluate whether or not you would open your business tomorrow. I would love to kind of share some of those stories, and hopefully others kind of just scrolling through the comments will be able to pick some things up from that. Outside of that, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Eric.
You got it, man. Thank you.